What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Today on the program, I have Melissa Jones Auld, A-U-L-D. Oh, you've heard that name. Okay. Well, you're going to get to hear a little bit more about Melissa Jones Auld. And I also have, returning Emily Glazener. Yeah, I know if you're an avid listener or watcher of the What Makes You Famous podcast, you'll know who Emily Glazener is. So she's going to add a little flavor to the mix. But we're going to learn a little bit more about Melissa Jones Auld, since I'm just meeting her in just the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, I will be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday night. My usual Friday night gig, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. It's a little concert starring each and every one of you. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. Pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, come on out to the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, Friday night. Starts at 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. And then on Saturday, last Saturday, I was at Spectators Bar and Grill in North Little Rock, right close to Sherwood, Arkansas. And guess what? This Saturday night, I will also be at Spectators Bar and Grill in Sherwood, Arkansas. I'm covering for DJ Ricky Z. I think he's got something else to do. Maybe a graduation, maybe a wedding. Who knows? But I am privileged and honored to be covering over at Spectators Bar and Grill from 8 p.m. until at least midnight. I went a little bit past midnight last Saturday because they were just having a blast. I really wasn't supposed to go past 11, but the bar didn't close until 1 o'clock. So I said, they're having a good time. I already have the stuff set up. Might as well stick around. So it was good. It was real good. That's Spectators Bar and Grill in North Little Rock, real close to Sherwood, Arkansas, from 8 p.m. until midnight or so. Always a good time. Oh, man, I'm excited. And I think in the afternoon, I have a graduation party of some kind in Cabot, Arkansas. But unless you're invited, you cannot come. I only mention it because I'm excited. I get to do parties. I always wonder, am I getting too old for this? Nah, I always have a good time. And the people seem to be having a good time too. And that's great. Speaking of good time, for a good time, call Emily Glazener and Melissa Jones Auld. Now, I got them on the Skype. So if you're listening to the audio version, check out the video version at youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Melissa Jones Auld and Emily Glazener now.
All right.
And I think I got it right. Yeah, there you go. Your name is under your face.
Did. You actually spelled it correctly.
And your name is under your face. Hey, it's like a regular professional outfit we got going on here. What's happening?
All right. So,
yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you pretty good.
You can hear us and everything? Okay, good. Because the other thing's a little slow, but maybe it'll catch up.
Yeah, the picture's a little rough.
I think that's right. That's good, and that's one. So we wanted me to be with that. Okay, sorry.
We'll catch on.
How you doing, man?
The interweb is good. Emily Glazener, I already love you. I'm infatuated with you. We've been on this podcast. We've done this trip so many times already. And any friend of Emily Glazener is a friend of mine. Melissa Jones Auld, welcome to the What Makes You Famous podcast.
Thank you.
What's happening? What brings you here? You're a musician. Texas firework show? I have no idea. There's so much in your bio. We need to unpack some stuff. Yeah, we need to unpack some stuff. You have a great website, and I encourage anyone, like right off the bat, to go to Melissa Jones Auld AULD.com and go there first for all your needs. But I'm gonna ignore Emily for most of this podcast because I know a lot about Emily, but I know little.
Okay.
I know little about Melissa Jones Auld. The people have to know. The people are inquiring. Melissa Jones Auld, who are you? What is a Melissa Jones Auld?
What is a Melissa Jones Auld? I am a woman who's been through a lot of crap, the same as Emily, which is how we bonded. Different stuff, though, that we've been through. I'm a mother, and I discovered songwriting in my 30s, and I've been putting out music now for the last 12 years that I've been writing, and I got to go to Nashville right before COVID and record my latest EP. That was an incredible experience, and just trying to do what I love while I can do it.
Well, I've seen some of the videos on your YouTube page, which is very entertaining in itself. And I've seen you do. There's a lot of gigs, a lot of gigging, and when you gig,
I have a lot of gigs.
Yeah, when you gig, you put on a show. You get dressed up. You show up. You get people. All right. Whenever I do a wedding and people ask me, "Hey, I'm the DJ. How would you like me to dress?" And sometimes they'll say, "Oh, whatever you want. Shorts and a t-shirt's fine." No, you got to show out. I put my little bow tie on. I put my little suspenders on. Put my jacket on. Put my vest on. It's a wedding. It's an event. And when you go to your events, I can see that you treat them like, all right, whether there's 8 people in front of you or 80,000, you're putting on a show.
Absolutely.
Am I right? Am I reading that right?
You are right. I actually heard an interview with Glenn Fry one time. He said that when he started doing his solo music, he showed up to a show and there was only 2 people in the audience. And he said, you have to give them the same show that you would a sold out stadium because A, they paid to be there and they're there watching you and supporting you, but also because you never know who one of those 1 people is.
They never know.
Someone that you really needed to meet and really needed to see your music.
You are absolutely correct. You have to be nice to people. You have to give them the best you can give because you never know when that person, we're not doing it for the most part to gain notoriety, well, all right. I guess there's ways I could frame that. I had a thought and I'm thinking when you're doing a gig, in the middle of that gig, you're giving it the best you can. But in the back of your head, you're thinking about the next gig because in the entertainment business, the money can be good, but the work is not steady. It's always a hustle, a straight up hustle. Emily knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I've actually had to move my career 3 times now because I'm from Dallas, Fort Worth area originally, and I was getting started there, and things were just really starting to go well for me, and I was getting to open for people that I really admired and respected. And then right when I had people saying, hey, I want to play with you, I want to work with you, my husband got transferred to Utah. So I ended up in this tiny town called Bernal, Utah, 3 hours from everything, and I had to start all over.
You know what's funny?
I had to create my own music scene there and get them interested in music that wasn't metal. And I had a lot of people tell me, you're never going to do that. Nobody's ever going to want to hear your originals. Nobody's going to want to hear your Texas country music. And they were all very wrong. Everybody loved it because it was different than what was going on up there, especially. And I ended up actually getting to open up for Little Texas and Trick Pony when we were in Utah. So never hurts to be the only country artist in this town in the middle of nowhere. But then when that started going really well, I ended up having to move to New Mexico because he got transferred again. So then we were in this town, Carlsbad, New Mexico, that also only had a handful of bars. So I had to start all over again. And that's okay. That's what I did. And before we left there 3 years later, I had my standings at every single place in town and was getting to open up for the festivals and doing the big stuff. I'm actually being flown out there next month. And on my birthday, I will get to open up one of the opening acts for the Randy Rogers Band at a festival in Carlsbad, New Mexico.
You're giving the people
So
gems.
that's gonna be fun.
Melissa Jones Auld, you're giving the people gems. People don't know a lot of times when these big name acts, these acts that have come in, that have gotten to a certain level, they're touring around the country and even around the world. But sometimes, and a lot of times, they will want to break into a different market, such as Utah. And from what I heard, the Utah Jazz is a very misnomered name because they don't even allow music in Utah, do they? But that's neither here nor
They
there.
have music, but they have weak beer.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Mormons. I got it. Living your life, pure. I suppose is the way to go.
Oh man.
Yeah, but
People who don't drink should not write the laws for people who do, because some of their things don't make sense at all.
well, I'm living here in Arkansas after moving from Miami, Florida. Miami, party town, party place. Okay, the Florida Keys.
Yep.
They drink for a living down there. Okay, and I moved here to Central Arkansas, Conway, Arkansas. It's a dry county. And we have the alcoholics to prove it, because every Mexican restaurant, every Mexican restaurant has a club sign in. Here, you're part of the club. Now you get to drink. So yeah, it's funny. The drinking thing, and us working in bars. Hey, we expect people to get a little tipsy and possibly, to loosen up so they can see a show. But like I was saying, when you had Little Texas come around to Utah, they were looking for an opening act, and they tapped on a local artist. At the time, you were a local artist in Utah, and bam! I mean, now some people, they have to pay to play. Did they pay you,
Right.
or did you have to pay them?
Oh, I got paid very well. My whole band did. Yes.
That's a
It
bonus
was
right there.
about 3 times more than we had ever been paid.
That's a bonus. And it's nice to
Yeah.
ride the coattails of someone who's on that level, that is making, that kind of money. Hey, look, they've done a great job. Little Texas is wonderful. And I'm so happy that you got seen by their audience. And now, do you feel like you got any notoriety from opening for them? Do you feel like some of the Little Texas fans slid over to the Melissa Jones Auld page?
That's hard to say because it was such a small town that most of the people had already seen me. But it was just such an incredible experience, and all of the guys in Little Texas were so incredibly friendly and supportive and just the nicest guys. And they ended up serenading me and my husband on one of those songs after, we were sitting in the audience watching them. It was just great to see what you can work up to, but also because I remember when they were popular when I was fresh out of high school. I mean, God bless Texas. And then I'm a Texan that moves to Utah and gets to open up for Little Texas. So I was in all my burnt orange Texas Longhorn glory that day.
Even though I'm here in Arkansas, I still love that song. And since you are a singer,
Yeah.
and I know you haven't warmed up yet, give us at least that little yodel part of the God Bless Texas. Go ahead, hit me.
There's a yodel.
That
I didn't know there was a yodel.
maybe a wolf call.
I just know to God bless Texas.
Before
with his
that.
own hands brought down angels from the promised land. They gave up a place where they could dance. If you want to see heaven, brother, here's your chance. I've been sent to spread the message.
God bless Texas.
Now, I've always heard it as, yeah, ooh, God bless Texas. You don't remember the little yodel?
No.
Maybe that became a live thing later.
Could be. Yeah.
All right.
I'm not too sure about that one.
Okay. All right.
We'll go to London.
Okay. That's a whole nother story.
That's the only album I know.
All right. Now, I know, okay, I got two lovely ladies here, Emily Glazener and Melissa Jones Auld. Now, I know, Emily, you do, yeah, that's great. I know, Emily, you do a lot of covers as well as your originals. And Melissa Jones Auld, you do a lot of covers as well as your originals. Now, tell me about the covers. And I know anybody can read your bio on your website, but tell me about you growing up in Tejas, little Tejas.
Well, okay, so my parents are old hippies that turned corporate America, but they were super into music. So I've been dragged around to concerts since I was in about the 3rd grade. And that was a good thing. They always had really good seats. In fact, I miss the good old days of going to concerts with my folks. But the games we played on road trips was who sings this? What album is it on? Who's the guitar player? When did it come out? And if there was still a rock and roll Jeopardy show, if it only went up to like 2000, I could win that show for sure. I worked in a record store all through high school. If anyone remembers Sound Warehouse. So
Grandma, what's a record?
Is extensive.
Grandma, what's a record?
I did Sound Goodies. That's another.
You did Sound Goodies?
That's another thing.
You worked at a record store too? So my dad played music though, and my grandpa played music. My uncle played music. So I don't know why it took me so long to get started, but when I was 32, I decided to learn to play guitar. And I didn't know I could write. I was only playing covers when I got started. And then when I met my sweet husband and we were dating, I started hearing lyrics in my head. It was, grab a pen, I got to write this down before I forget it. And I guess you would say he's my muse because I think about 85% of my songs are about him. The rest of my songs are about my life experience, though, things that I've been through, good or bad. That's where I work out my therapy, you know. But, yeah, I mean, I had a great time going to shows, and if it was a show my parents didn't want to go to, they would drop me and my friends off at Texas Stadium or wherever, and then come back and get us at the end of the day. So I had an interesting, very different teenage years than a lot of kids, for sure.
Oh, for sure, and totally.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that I did when I was a kid was I was always the DJ for the high school parties and you know my neighborhood DJ, and here I am dragging my wagon with my little records, and yes, I know exactly what records are. Had 45s, discs of all kinds, and I loved that when I started on radio. The best part of being on, one of the best parts about being on radio, it's not the pay, because they don't pay you jack squat, but it's the swag, and it's getting to go to concerts and getting to go see live performances, and sometimes even getting to be backstage and being part of the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go, oh, there's Keys Dan down there from 105.1, and there he is from 94.7, and there he, it's the notoriety, and that's a nice symbiotic relationship that a DJ has with the musician. That's the recording musician. Is that I don't know how to play a lick, maybe 3 chords on a guitar, but I do get to play your music. And now, I'm talking to you. I've heard some of your songs. I'm going to be playing you on Friday night at the club and even Saturday night at the club. And that's how, and even on radiowhat.com, that's how you get out there more. And I have content to play for the people, and then you get recognized, and hopefully somebody goes out and buys your song, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
But you were
That
talking
would be
about,
great.
yeah, you were talking about records. If you're making records back when records were a thing, an artist can make money selling, 1 million records, 500,000 records, 10,000 records, a big amount of records. But now you don't buy, people don't buy records. They go and stream songs.
That is a challenge.
How are you making money?
That is a challenge. Well, up until recently, I sold my CDs because even though people will tell you I don't even have a CD player anymore, but they'll buy it to support you and then go stream it. At one point, when I released a single for Insecurities, I had a limited edition vinyl pressing, and that went over really well. But merch and selling CDs actually does go well. I'm looking into getting these USBs now that have a tiny little square attached to them that will have my album cover on it, because that way people can just plug it right into their car with the USB sticks. So that you make a lot more money that way. And I really push for that at my shows. It's great when you have a friend that'll help you sell merch. They can go around and make a lot of money for you while you're up there singing.
And now you're taking
that koozie, put the beer in there, like you want
yeah.
these.
I sell koozies. Koozies are a big seller.
Yes, this Texas, yes.
And of course, my koozies have my website on them, so that when they go home, they know exactly where to find me.
At melissajonesauld.com.
That's right.
Say it loud.
That's right.
No, and it's fantastic.
MelissaJonesAuld.com.
Yeah, you had your parents that were already getting you into the music, and you said hippies, and that kind of let me that kind of it put me in a political mind. Neil Young used to be a voice that said down with the man, and then Joe Rogan said something weird, and then now you can't say that. Do hippies grow up and be corporate? Is that what happens? Does they're all down? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mother did the same thing. She was a pot smoking hippie from the 60s, and she grew up and got in the corporate world and started making money, and then forgot about that, the man, and now she became the man. Is that a thing? Does that happen?
He liked making his money, and he said, he enjoyed that. He didn't like that hippie communal life where, no, you didn't work today, I worked, So he said that's where he started. He went to college on his GI Bill, and kind of their lives shifted a lot then. But no, he was still always tell me, question authority, always speak your mind, question authority. Respectfully, you can even question me, but question. It's okay to question.
Well, Melissa, you are from Texas.
Always question.
Melissa, I understand that completely. You are from Texas. That's a very interesting state, a very proud state, a very independent state. If the whole rest of the union broke off, I don't think Texas would care. Would Texas even notice?
No.
The Lone Star State. You're a country in itself, and the people.
We were a country.
The people reflect that. That we're proud. Everything's bigger. We want our freedoms. But
do you see my purse?
Oh, look at that. It's a Texas flag. So the people that are listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version, and you'll see the lovely ladies right there next to me. Unfortunately, the video is not perfect. It seems like we have some kind of a terrible connection, but I hear you just fine. But okay.
That's what's important.
So growing up, you're getting insight from your mom and dad, and in school, is that reflecting? Are you writing things in English class or poetry class, or are you taking music class or in school at all, or what kind of extracurriculars are you getting into growing up in Texas?
Well, I was not in a lot of extracurricular activities. I did do choir in elementary school, and I took clarinet for 1 year in the 6th grade. But no, I was not at all in any extracurricular activities. I love my parents, but they weren't into all that. They were into going to rock shows and finding good Mexican food and barbecue to eat at night. I wasn't in any sports or anything like that, or any lessons of any kind. No, I had to do that when I grew up and take that on myself. But my dad was super supportive when I did. And then he's, of course, well, why didn't I teach you when you were a kid? I'm like, I don't know. Imagine where I'd be now if you had, you know? Because I took to the guitar very naturally, especially for just regular rhythm guitar. And so he was he's no longer with us, but he was super supportive. In fact, my mother would get mad because she would say, she's in her 30s. You do not need to pay for her music lessons. And he was like, well, we never did when she was a kid. So, you know, we've got this now. He just wanted to do anything he could to support me. And unfortunately, he passed away before he got to see me do anything super cool, like opening for Little Texas, or I guess sing the national anthem at the Astros game last summer. But I know he's up there somewhere watching and very proud of me, very proud of me.
Oh,
I was even named after a rock song. My dad was, his favorite song of all time was Sweet Melissa by the Allman Brothers. So.
He's awesome.
All right. I have a cousin, Roxanne. And she, you know, once she became of age, she knows how she got named and went, what? Really? I'm named after what? Oh. No, but Sweet Melissa, definitely a much better song. Hey, growing up, you went to different concerts. I already know Emily Glazener is a big Elton John fan, but tell me about your top 5 concerts that you grew up with. Mom and dad are dragging you there, and you were just like falling in love with these bands. Your top 5.
Okay. Fleetwood Mac, Paul Simon, Jackson Browne, Tom Petty, and I have to pick one that my parents had nothing to do with, but Depeche Mode puts on an amazing show. I've seen them several times. Depeche Mode puts on a fantastic concert. But somebody I never got to see that I wish I could have was Linda Ronstadt, because she was who I wanted to emulate when I was a child, who I wanted to sing like. In fact, my Texas Bound album was recorded in the same studio that she recorded her second album. And so, it was just exhilarating to sing in the same spot that Linda Ronstadt had sung in.
Okay, that answers my next question. Do you feel that when you get get into a studio that has been used by so many people, get on a stage, do the ghosts that are on that stage, do the spirits help to guide you and help the energy go flowing through you? I know this sounds real hoodly poodly, but I've been on some old stages, you know, like Miami has some stages that have been okay. And I say old. This is very relative to the United States as opposed to the rest of the world. Their old stages may be thousands of years old. Our old stage, maybe 100 years old, maybe 200 if we're lucky.
Or 50.
You know, maybe 50 years old. Yeah. But you still feel the ghost.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Sun Records. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, being in that studio where she recorded, and so many other famous stuff was definitely recorded there, but it was crazy. I think I had more energy and sang better than I've ever sang in my life in that moment. I felt like I was in heaven. It was the most natural high I could ever possibly have. And I rode that adrenaline wave for probably a month at least. I could not sleep that night. It was just great. And yeah, it's weird how it does. It affects you. In fact, one of the songs that she recorded in that studio was Long, Long Time. Well, when she recorded that, she could not get into that solemn mood that she needed to be in with everybody in the room with her, because this is an old school studio where you're all playing live and they're capturing the different instruments separately. So for a long, long time, she went into the bathroom to record her vocals. And so I was begging the engineer, like, can I sing in the bathroom, please? It's like, no, you're good in the sound booth. You're good. She only does the one song in the bathroom. You're good.
Yeah, that had to be difficult to capture the sound right. The only other person that I can really recall right now of singing in a bathroom was Weird Al Yankovic. He recorded the original version of My Bologna in a bathroom somewhere in New York. It might have been Central Station, but he recorded the original version of My Bologna in the bathroom, and you could hear the echoes.
Fleetwood Mac, when Fleetwood Mac recorded the Tusk album, I saw a documentary on it when I was probably, I don't know, 9 years old or something, but they actually rented out this old house, this huge old mansion. And Lindsey did a lot of the recording of sounds and instruments and even some vocals in these tile bathrooms in this old mansion. Because you get great sound in a bathroom.
Wait a minute. I mean, was that Tusk or was that Rumors? I mean, could some of that stuff... What's that?
That was Tusk.
Tusk. What a great album. I mean, it's no Rumors. Rumors was one of the few perfect albums of all time. Every song on that album, perfect. A hit. You know, just perfectly crafted.
Tusk is great for a road trip. Tusk is the best road trip.
Okay.
It's mellow, but not enough to put you to sleep. It wakes you up and gets peppy, but not enough to make you feel tired. It is a perfect road trip album.
Okay. The first road trip that I took was about 1,000 miles from Miami to Baton Rouge to New Orleans, Louisiana. And all I had really was the one CD back in '88, and it was the Cars Greatest Hits. And I thought that was the greatest driving album, especially it is the Cars. They write music, you know,
great album.
That keeps moving, keeps things moving. Now, you have a muse. You said, your husband was your muse. Your different relationships throughout the years have been your muse. You've been writing songs about them. All the songs that you have written personally, they do come from personal experience, or are you also a fiction writer? Are you also able to draw from dreams or other experiences?
As of now, every single song I've ever written is very autobiographical about specific situations. And some of them are so specific that I did not even put them on the album, because you need to be able to connect with people. You want to be able to write a song about something, but then somebody else can hear it and make it theirs and say, oh, I feel that in this. I have one song on my Texas Bound album called Get Over You that a lot of people think would be about a man. And I have people come up and tell me, oh, I felt that pain. And what they don't realize is that that's actually about my sister who hurt me deeply. So, but if you write it in the right way, they can connect it to their own experience. Well, and so that's how I like to connect with people. You asked if I ever wrote in high school or anything, and I did not. When we would have the poetry session in English, I would always take a rock song and break it down to get the assignment done. I absolutely sucked at writing my own stuff. I did not know I could write until I wrote my first song at 32.
Well, okay.
No, I wasn't 32. I was 36. Yeah, I was 36.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, breaking down songs. One of my English teachers used to break down songs, and she'd bring a record and play, and she would go, look, the sound, it's silence. It's silence. The sound, it's silence. And I remember the first writing assignment that I did was breaking down Bohemian Rhapsody, that at the time, back in the 80s, when I was back in the 1900s, when I was going to school, it was the last. Yeah, it was the greatest song. It was the greatest song of the last 25 years. Voted, and this is I'm class of '86, so it's really it was only 10 years or so since it was made. But yeah, I remember breaking down songs. I thought that was great. It was a great exercise in trying to figure out, trying to get into the minds of the writer, such as yourself, trying to get into the minds. Now, you wrote that song about your sister. Was it there? It was therapeutic for you, but did you ever make amends with your sister?
No, it's in my bio. I always hate throwing it out there because it's like, no, my sister did not like me much from the day I was born. We didn't get along. And when I was a young mother with a 2 and a 5-year-old, she ran off with my husband, and we're done.
Yeah, that pretty much ends it.
What?
Yeah, it's splitsies. Take my hubby, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done. All right. I'm so sorry that happened. Yeah, and it's a story that's been told before, but it happened to you. So it doesn't matter if it happened to anybody else. For you, that is a personal story. That hurts. That hurts hard. And is that something you ever get over? I guess not. You say you're...
No. There's a great line in a John Randall song, who is also a Texas singer-songwriter. You might know him because he does a lot of work he wrote Whiskey Lullaby, and he works with Miranda Lambert and Dirk Bentley and Blake Shelton and all of them. But he wrote a song, and it says, something about you don't get over it, you just get through it.
Yeah. And I feel bad, the kids, they lost their dad and their auntie, so that's a personal tragedy.
Well, they're still there.
Yeah, but they're not like part of their lives, really, but they got their mama. They got a good mama, and you're doing well, I imagine. But all right, so what's that?
I wasn't real happy in my marriage, so all in all these years later, I mean, not happy it was her, but I'm happy that I had the chance to meet someone else who treats me a lot better.
As you deserve it.
Yeah.
You've made, you're at peace, and you got some happiness, and that's all we really want in this world is to find happiness. That pursuit of happiness. It's in the Declaration for a reason. It's in our Constitution for a reason. So it doesn't mean you're going to find happiness. It means you can pursue it. You're free to pursue it.
You can pursue it. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
So you got your life. You're into the music. You raised. I figure the reason you didn't get into music before, you're more of a lover than anything else. You had this desire to make a family, and you did. You got some kids. How many do you have?
I have 2 kids. In fact, today is my oldest daughter's 26th birthday. So happy birthday, Harmony. I love you so much. I miss you so much. She lives in Virginia, so far away from me now. But I got to talk to her on the way over here, and she's going to come see me at Christmas. So, but yes, my oldest is 26, and my baby will be 23 next month.
Wow.
My little Gemini baby, who was born on my birthday.
Wow. Well, happy birthday, Harmony. Yeah. I have a 30-year-old myself, and like I said, I'm here in Arkansas. She's in Gainesville, Florida, and she made me a grandpa twice.
I want to be a grandma.
Oh, my goodness.
But I'm cool with them waiting. They'll screw their lives up,
Yes.
Not that they screwed my life up, but, I'd rather them have their life together a little better first.
Harmony, wait till you're 30. You can date after you're married. Wait till you're 30. By that time you're spending.
Notice what her name is. You know why her name is Harmony?
Why?
Because all I ever dreamed of as a child was growing up and being a backup singer for the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I did not realize they didn't have a backup singer, but I did talk my way backstage at a show one time and got to tell them all about how I wanted to be their backup singer as a child. And I actually got to sing a few lines backstage with Jeff Hanna, so that was unbelievable.
What a moment. What a moment in your life. That's beautiful. It's nice when you meet your heroes and they turn out to be great. Are there any other heroes that you've met over the years and they turned out okay? And then if you want to, you can.
She's gonna plot.
She's got a plots when she tells you. Okay, go.
Go.
I got to meet Lindsey Buckingham. I've been in love with Lindsey Buckingham since the Mirage album when we got MTV when I was in like second grade. And I would see the Hold Me video and the video for Gypsy. And then on HBO, the Mirage concert was on all the time. And I was just in love with him. And so growing up in Dallas, you see Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman and Daryl Johnston and Emmitt Smith at the mall, and people are fawning over them. And I always felt bad. And, why don't they leave them alone? They're just humans like us. And so I go to see, I think it was like 2004. I went to go see Lindsey Buckingham at Bath Hall in Fort Worth. And my husband at the time had gone to go get the car. And I was just standing outside. And some random person walks up to me and points at me and goes, do you want to go backstage? I'm like, yes, I do. And he slapped a badge on me. And I'm like, okay, be cool. And I get back there, and I was the last person to get to see him, and he was so nice. And I was like, hey, I love you. I was such a dork. Can I get a hug? And I told him, I'm learning to play one of your songs. And he goes, that's very ambitious.
That's the best line ever.
Melissa, you have met. All right, you said that these football players, leave them alone because they're human. Lindsey Buckingham is not human. He's not a human man. He not only a great vocalist, but arguably one of the greatest guitarists of all time. His licks are amazing. You hear a Fleetwood Mac song and you go, oh, that's a Fleetwood Mac song. You hear the first, you said something about a game show where you named that tune. Yeah, I can name that tune in a note, maybe two. Oh, yeah. Bang, bang, those notes. And he crafted them, pretty much he crafted them all himself, by all accounts.
Yeah, he produced all of their stuff.
Oh my gosh. And by all accounts,
they would not be Fleetwood Mac without him.
A nice person. Yeah, every time I've ever heard. Yeah. Every time I've ever heard.
I know I've heard. Sorry, there's a delay here, so I feel like I keep cutting you off. I know I've heard most stars are jerks and stuff, and I've even heard people, suggest that, they had to kick him out of the band because he's such a jerk to Stevie and all this stuff. But he was so friendly, and he was kind of like shy with his shoulders. On stage, he's like, yeah, and, just crazy, man. But there in person, he was kind of, it was amazing. And I thank God he was nice. It would have crushed my entire world if he'd have been rude to me.
Who knows why he was kicked out of the band? I don't think it was anything to do with Stevie Nicks, man, because the Buckingham Nicks record are amazing. When he got together with Stevie and did those, oh my goodness,
the album's great, but no, it was like it's been printed. It was Stevie.
Yeah.
He's like yeah, the both of them. It's either him or me. And so he had to go, which is unfortunate. But it's literally in black and white. You can read it.
Okay.
That's why I said Buckingham Nicks is great. She's got it on her wall.
I do. I have a second pressing of Buckingham Nicks, and it is framed on the wall in my living room. Mm-hmm. I'm such a music freak, and I do collect vinyl. So in my living room, on both sides of the long walls, I have the records, my favorite records, framed all in a line. And every record that is up there has massive meaning to me. So, of course, Mirage is up there because that's where I fell in love with Lindsey Buckingham. Of course, Linda Ronstadt Silk Purse, because she recorded that at Cinderella Sound Studio. Got Let It Be because that was my dad's favorite Beatles album. And every album up there.
Something Jackson Brown.
Well,
there's Jackson Brown up there for sure. Some Paul Simon, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yes.
All of my favorites.
Did you see we have a lot in common? Because if you see, you've seen my room, but we have a lot in common. So
we actually both have an original Simon and Garfunkel Bridge Over Troubled Water poster that originally came in the record album and we fold it out. We both have the same one framed in our bedroom.
Yes, it's so cool.
That is very cool. I did have thousands of albums over the years, but I've lost them or they've gotten stolen over the years. I have one album left. It's the Jimi Hendrix Experience. That's the only album I have left, the only record that I have left. But hey, if I'm going to have only one, might as well be that one. But it's it was so good. I remember growing up, I had, there was a corner in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I went to high school. And the corner was a movie theater, a video game parlor, and a record store. And when I pulled in, that record store owner had his head out the door because he knew, Dan, I got something for you. I got some. He knew any money that I made over at Swenson's ice cream parlor was going straight to him, buying records, thumbing through. You were talking about, you have artwork and liner notes, learning about the artist. This is
reading the lyrics.
Yes.
So how I've been dating my husband for about, we met in October, and at Christmas I knew he was special because he had listened to me when we were getting to know each other and, and talking about our childhoods and stuff. And I was like, well, I always worked in a record store, and God, I miss records. I miss the smell of the vinyl and the big artwork and the fold outs. And I guess I talked about it a lot because for Christmas, he bought me a vinyl, he bought me a record player, and he bought me 2 albums. And this was, just the record player itself was just, oh my gosh. But then the fact that he had known to listen well enough to know that I would love Eagles Hotel California and the Beastie Boys, he won me over. He got me Paul's Boutique. I finally had, hey ladies, get my
I need more cowbell. More cowbell. No, you picked out well, I'm from a time when they had 8-track tapes, and I had 3 8-track tapes growing up. It was Stevie Wonder's Superstition, the Eagles' Greatest Hits, and Steve Martin's Wild and Crazy Guy. So, yeah.
I've got that on vinyl.
You got that one?
I've got that on vinyl.
What? King Tut.
I do. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. My goodness.
I know. Like, my kids know, and my kids know every line of that song.
Yeah, but I hope they don't
Don't get it. They just love it.
I hope they don't take those drugs that make you small. Really, All right. Okay. Look, I'm having a good time talking with the both of you. I got Melissa Jones Auld. You're raising kids, and now the kids are grown. They're on their own, and you're going back and becoming the star, the music sensation that you always knew that you could be. 36, you're starting. Yeah. You record that first album at the Linda Ronstadt studio, that same studio. I can't remember the name of it.
My second album.
The second album.
It was my second album.
It's amazing that you're recording.
My second album.
Yeah, it's amazing that you're recording albums, because I thought kids are only recording singles now. 99 cents a piece on Apple iTunes and Spotify and wherever records are sold.
Right. If I could afford to order it on vinyl and have it in records, I would, but you have to order a whole lot of them to get any kind of decent price.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but that's such a niche,
I love a quote from Jackson Browne about records, because he was being interviewed and someone said, you keep saying a record. We don't do records anymore. We do CDs, because this was in the 90s. And he said, they're all a record because they're a record in time.
That is correct. I mean, you're giving people gems. You're giving people ideas, and you're taking me back to days gone by, thumbing through CDs. But me, even as a professional DJ, I don't even have CDs anymore. It's all digital. I have turntables that will control the MP3s, and that's how I'll mix the music together. 2 turntables and a microphone has taken on a much different flavor. But it used to be I would have a crate full of records, and if you're going to that party, that's what you're listening to. There's no requesting an obscure song that I can, buy off the internet real quick and I'll play it for you. No, if it's not in that box, you're not getting it. Not tonight. Maybe next week if I go to the record store and buy your record, I do miss those days, but I do like having, at my fingertips, if I want to buy a Melissa Jones Auld song or an Emily Glazener song, I can buy it right there and play it for the kids at the party because they want to hear it. They want to hear it so bad, all right.
Have you heard her new song?
What's
No,
She hasn't.
no.
She has a new song that she's getting ready to release, and it is fan-freaking-tastic.
Well, hit me, Emily Glazener. Give the deets.
Goosebumps.
Spill the tea.
So I have these really amazing friends in England, Caitlin Gray and Neil Harvey of the Neve Project. By the way, if you haven't heard Jamais Encore, so great, isn't it? Look up Jamais Encore, which means never again. And then when you listen to it, you're like, oh, that's what she's saying. Because it's in French, at least that part is. Anyways, they've got my song. I had recorded an album. I can't go into the detail what happened with the album, but because I had a really bad disagreement with the producer, he felt as though he owned any of my songs, which he did not. So he took the album down. I won't say who it is, but he did. And so then I was like, all right, well, I'll go and record it again. So it's no skin off my back in that sense, because now I'm just taking my vocals, which are all mine, taking my chords and my music, which is all mine, giving it to somebody else, paying them, and then to these amazing people. And this song, when it's done, I'll send it to you. I think you'll really love it. It's very positive. It's called Circle. And, when I was a kid, I loved the song All My Life's a Circle by Harry Chapin. Do you remember that? All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Well, my dad used to sing it to my mom, so it was a circle. I love that song. And I wrote this song. Remember, I'm a big Eddie Izzard fan, and I watched Eddie run 32 marathons in 31 days. And God, I know Eddie was tired, but Lord, I was tired on February. Yeah, it took me a while because, I'll get up at a certain time. Then I have to hit the snooze button to wake up again, watch the entire 6 hours or so, plus the thing in between. Anyways, I was tired, But all these amazing stories I heard, and then stories that were mine. And there was one in particular about this woman who made it through such a hard time. And I just keep picturing her whenever I sing this song. She went into the Covenant House in New York, and she found her way, and she graduated top of her class. And then she took all that knowledge and went down into New Orleans and then worked at the Covenant House there to share her knowledge and her story and her everything. She was just amazing. She really affected me.
Is that how your song was written?
That's where I got the ideas for them. Yeah, some of that. And then mine, my husband had, passed away, as you know, and he had this conversation with my oldest son. And one of the things was, he was like, look, you have to know that you've got to be this strong guy. You've got to be a great big brother. You've got to, take care of your little brothers and help your mom, because I won't be there. And the only way that they're going to know what kind of dad I am and have been to you is how good of a big brother you are. And he's in the Navy now. He's a great kid. And I'm, so there's that story. There was all these other stories. There were wounded veterans that I listened to their stories. There were people who worked in the NHS, and then people here in America who worked, as nurses and doctors. And you get to hear all these stories, and it just hit my head, and I was like, oh yeah. And in the middle of the month, I wrote this song, and I'm super proud of it. And when she listens to it, she gets this beautiful thing from it. When you would listen to it, you'd have your own story. I tried to make it everybody can understand. But the lines.
Everybody makes it their own.
Yeah. But the line that everybody really likes is, you got to cross the bridge, you got to run the last mile, you got to wear your smile like it's armor. Yeah.
Oh, I know that feeling, because that's where I've been. You got to put that smile on like it's armor.
Yeah, because you're not going to get me down. I'm going to make it through. Right. Yeah.
She played it for me, and the hair on my arms stood up, and I was envisioning her on a Grammy stage in a ball gown singing this song.
It really, the way the
full orchestra and choir behind her. I mean, it's that good. It really is.
They did a wonderful job. So I will send that to you when I get that master. I think you really enjoy it. But the main thing I wanted to tell you about is this amazing girl and I are going to the UK. We're going to tour for 2 weeks at the end of July and into August, and share our music, because I love England. But we're trying to break into Wales. If anybody in Wales, bring us, because we want to go. We want to be there. But we've gotten into Scotland, so we're down, and I want to get into Sussex, but but we're in West Sussex, and we're going to get into Bristol, and just making a big backwards J.
Well, send a tweet to Catherine Zeta-Jones. I think she's out there in Welsh, so you might get a response back.
Catherine Zeta-Jones, hey,
lovely lady. Let me tell you about it. Yeah. We've got some mates out there, but that's the. But, 2 women out there, travel by train, grab a guitar, get out there. We've got some really great gigs. I have friends in Swindon, and they're so excited because we nailed a gig in Swindon. And the way we became friends was hilarious. It's, hello, Swindon. I am here. And so they love that. So, and I've known them since 2008. So we're going to go do a show.
Tour together. I'm a little bit country.
I'm a lot of rock and roll.
Well, I'm so excited.
Rock and roll, but even if I sing Depeche Mode, people tell me I like that country version of Depeche Mode you sang. So I just go with it. Go with the honky tonk.
And one of the big shows that we're going to do, we're going to be at the Crossing the Tyne Festival up in the Newcastle area in South Shields, north of South Shields. And there is this amazing charity, and it's Northeast Homeless. And so when we're up there, we'll be raising money for them. And that charity, I met those folks, and they do everything on grants, and they work hard, and they rehabilitate people. And it's just so wonderful to be a part of something that is good. So we're super excited. Well, we got lots of things going on here, but it's like.
No, I'm excited for you. You've given me another Harry Chapin song to look up. Because the only 2 that I really listen to are "Cats in the Cradle" and "Flowers Are Red." "Flowers Are Red" was the one that I really enjoyed growing up.
That's a great one.
Oh my goodness! But the through line to all that is music can inspire, and you are the next generation that is inspiring others. When you get your fans that come up to you at the merch tables and they go, "Wow, you were so great, Melissa Jones Auld. You were so great, Emily Glazener." And together, do you have a name together as a duet, or is it just your individual names?
Yes, check it out.
We named the tour Bum Stars Across the Water.
Bum Stars?
Lone Stars.
Lone Stars.
Lone Star State. It's Lone Stars Across the Water.
Yes,
that's awesome, isn't it?
Yes, that's much better than Bum Stars. My hearing hasn't developed yet. Lone Stars Across the Water.
They're anything but bumps.
I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited for England, the UK.
Yes.
There is no Queen of England anymore.
Thing.
Do you know that there is no Queen of England? That's not the title since like the 1700s.
Her Majesty.
It's like she's the defender of the faith and all the commonwealths and all that stuff, but she's not the Queen of England. Yeah, her title. But I guess you'll find that and learn more about that when you head back over there. But oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you. Things are getting bigger. So good to see you, Emily Glazener. So good to meet you, Melissa Jones Auld. Now you have been giving shout outs throughout this thing, But as we wind this thing down, I want you to give shout outs to people that have helped you along the way. And then we'll give the last words for the people.
Okay. Christopher Gregory, our manager, Christopher Gregory. Yeah. And in South Devon Radio, Christopher Gregory, and worked for Elris CE. Just so amazing. Like, thank you so much, you know? He's done such amazing things. I got to go and hang out with him and his family. And I had a great time. I was there for a week. Wonderful, wonderful. Christina, his wife, freaking, she looks out for us too. Like, she's looking over stuff like, no, that's not right. Yeah.
If you're asking the question, then I absolutely have to say Jack Evan Johnson, who is a friend in Nashville that helped me get everything together. His dad, Katie Johnson, actually drove from Utah to New Mexico, picked me up and drove me to Nashville so that his son could help me get recorded. He has helped me more than anybody out there for sure. And I just am so grateful. I'm absolutely at the happiest place in my life that I've ever been. And without music, I don't know where I would be, because it's the first thing in my life that this is me. I'm not Lee's daughter. I'm not Becky's sister, Harmony and Haley's mom, this guy's wife. I'm Melissa Jones Auld.
Yeah.
Musician.
This is where you get to break free and you get to become who you always should have been. And hey, I'm excited for the world. I'm excited for the world to hear more from you, because you are a person with a superpower that can create music out of a feeling, out of an event, out of hardship, and out of happy times too. You can create music, and I'm so happy to know you and Emily. Oh,
nice to meet you.
But okay, I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As time progresses, as things happen, come on back. I know Emily knows she has an open door policy here at the What Makes You Famous podcast. We'll record and goof off and do whatever. But I want you to give last words for the people. I actually want you both to give last words for the people. But Emily Glazener, I want you to give the first last words for the people. And then Melissa Jones Auld, you get the last say in this podcast. So this could be words to live by. This could be something you heard a long time ago, or whatever pops into your head. Emily Glazener, give your last words for the people.
It's something that I know that she agrees with me on this. Find the good where you are. You know, I've said that before. I'll hashtag it, find the good where you are. There's so much good in the world, and it's the idea of looking for it, because it's there. But some people just want to see the negative parts. Oh, such and such is the best. Even if you're in a bad situation, the fact that you know it's a bad situation, it's the good in where you are. So I truly believe that. I tell my children that. I know that's something that a lot of people, might need to hear. Find the good where you are.
It's crazy when I met her and that's her hashtag, because I'm always telling people, no matter what I've gone through, you have to find the good in it. You have to find the happy in it. Yes, my sister ran off with my husband. I have the man of my dreams now. There's always something good. And what I would really like to say though is, people just need to be kind to each other. People need to get back to, we can all have our own opinions. We can disagree. We can spar about it. But people need to quit canceling each other. We got to find a way to come together on all sides. All sides.
Oh my goodness. There you have it, party people. Melissa Jones Auld and Emily Glazener. Good times are to be had when you get these two kids in the room. You already knew about Emily Glazener, but so cool. I see that they are great friends, and they're really a kinship, two peas in a pod. Maybe one's a little bit more country and one's a little bit more rock and roll, but still have an incredible love for music, love for creating music, writing, playing, enjoying, giving the people a show. And the two of them together, I could only imagine, fireworks. And you know, I started reading her bio. If you look at on melissajonesauld.com, it says Melissa Jones Auld is a Texas fireworks show whose fuse was lit when she stepped on an open mic stage for the first time at age 36. Yeah. All right. Never too late. Follow your dreams. There you go. They're following their dreams all the way to jolly old England. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Melissa Jones Auld and Emily Glazener. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.